How many videos have you uploaded so far? 10, 20, 50, maybe even 100? And how many viewers are you getting? If you're sitting here right now and you're feeling like you've been putting everything that you have into your channel and nobody is watching, I hear you, and I need you to hear this. My very first month on YouTube, I uploaded 25 videos in 31 days. That's right, 25 videos. And by the end of the month, I had 26 new subscribers. 26 people after 25 videos. After hours and hours of filming and editing and uploading and staring at a screen, waiting for something to happen, something magical to happen. And I want to show you exactly what that looked like. The real numbers, the real mistakes, the real data, because I think it might be the most important thing you watch today if you're thinking about giving up on YouTube. This is month one, year one, my honest story of how the Plant Power Runner began and what it can teach you about your own channel right now. Before I get into January 2020, I want to give you some context because I think it actually matters to be able to watch this video. I wasn't completely new to YouTube when I started getting serious about this channel. I mean, back in 2011, I did a project called the 365 Things to Do in Orangeville and Dufferin County, posting a video every day for a year. And in 2015, I actually created the Plant Powered Runner. And I posted a few videos after I ran the Scotiabank Toronto Waterfront Marathon. But then nothing for years. I really didn't do much of anything when it came to YouTube, with regards to running, because I wasn't thinking long term. I wasn't thinking about building something. I was just documenting moments of my life and then walking away one time, two times, three times. Just seems like all the time. I don't know. Does that sound familiar to what you're going through? Maybe you've done the same thing. I don't know. But starting a channel, posting a few videos, and got discouraged and stopped, that was me more than once. So at the end of 2019 and the beginning of 2020 in January, this wasn't my first attempt at YouTube, but it was the first time I made real commitment to showing up consistently. And the reason was embarrassingly very simple. It was a New Year's resolution. I wanted to be accountable my mindset to set up some big goals for 2020. And it's happening. It's good. I think I've run close to 500 kilometers in December, which I'm thrilled with. No injuries. I've been really looking after the body, going really slow, doing a lot of math training, which is really low intensity aerobic paced kind of workouts. Let's talk about New Year. What's the big goal for the new year? And I would say my big goal for the new year, other than falling down here, would be getting out and running a 100 kilometer run. I think it's doable. I think it's something that I could certainly achieve. It's just a matter of, getting out every morning, putting in the miles to my running. So I figured if I posted videos about my training, I'd have to actually keep up the training. That was the entire strategy of why I started this. I didn't have that audience. No audience research, no keyboard planning, it's not even optimized for YouTube. Just I wanted to keep myself accountable, maybe help a few people along the way, and let's see what happens. That was kind of, I guess, my mindset. If you've started your channel for a similar simple reason, look, you're not behind. You're exactly where I was. And look where that simple reason led me to. This is my 4th YouTube channel right now. Now, let me tell you about my setup because I think this is critical for anyone watching who is waiting until they have the right gear before they start. I had an iPhone from 2017. It had a crack across the screen that went almost directly over the camera lens. I didn't have any money to replace the camera, so I kept my fingers crossed that the crack wouldn't go over to that area of the screen. The audio had started to degrade too, so sometimes I'd finish filming an entire video and the audio was completely unusable. It was staticky and I'd have to start all over from scratch, like right from the beginning. Man, and that sucked because I didn't script anything, so it was just, that's what I said. And then I forgot. And I had a selfie stick. That was it. That was the entire setup. A cracked phone, a selfie stick, and a will just to keep going. My picture quality was kind of rough because running with a selfie stick is incredibly shaky. So I'd run to a spot, stop, flip the camera around, say what I wanted to say, and then keep on running. And then in January in Ontario, Canada, which is not exactly warm, I'd run past the camera. I prop it up on a selfie stick, run back, and then run past it again just to get the shot of me moving, me running. So it looked kind of cool. I was completely making it up as I went because I didn't really know what I was doing. And here's how long it took me to produce my very first video. Take a guess right now, comment below. It was 7 hours to produce a 5-minute video. I had no idea how to edit, no idea how to export, no idea what any of the settings meant. I was learning everything from scratch in real time because what I used years ago didn't exist anymore. So I had to start all over again. So if you're sitting there right now thinking that your setup isn't good enough or your edits take too long or your videos don't look professional enough, I literally want you to know that my first video took 7 hours and was filmed on a cracked phone with a selfie stick. And that channel is now monetized. Your gear is not the problem. So you got to keep on going. You just got to keep on making the videos. Okay, let's talk about the actual numbers because this is what the channel is all about. Okay, every month I'm going to be doing this. Real data, no BS, no inflated claims. My channel called The Plant Powered Runner started in January of 20 with 27 subscribers. People who had somehow found the channel back in 2015 and stuck around even though I had posted almost nothing for like 5 years. But by the end of January 20, I had 53 subscribers. I had gained 26 new people during that 31-day period. My total views for the month were 1,142. My watch time, 59, a huge 59 hours of watch time. Impressions were 15,472. YouTube showed my content to over 15,000 people. That's wild. Click-through rate was 2.38 on my videos. Now I need to talk about those percentage increases because this is really important for new creators to understand. My views were up 987% from the previous month. Subscribers were up 2,500%. Impressions were up 2,600%. Those numbers sound absolutely incredible. Almost 1,000% increase in views, 2,500% increase in subscribers. That's wild. But here's the honesty in all of it. When you're starting from almost zero, a massive percentage increase is still not a lot of views. I went from basically nothing to 1,142 views. That's the real story behind those percentages. And it's, like I said, it's pretty wild. I see a lot of new creators get excited about their percentage growing in the early months. I had a friend of mine who was all excited. And I understand why. It feels like momentum. But I want you to look at the actual numbers, not the percentages. The numbers, because that's what it tells you where you really are on your channel. Now, here's where it gets generally interesting because the data from January of 20 told me something about my audience that I almost completely missed at the time. I posted 29 videos that month, and out of my 25, my top performer, the one that got me the most views, was called How I Fell in the River and Then Got Lost in the Woods. 164 views, 10.5 hours of watch time. And that was not a tutorial. It wasn't a training plan and not a gear review. That was a video about me falling in a river and getting completely lost in the woods during a 30K trail run that I was on. My second best was a group trail run with a vegan running community, and I had 134 views on that one. My third best was an interview with an ultramarathon runner living with Lyme disease. That was 96 views. But that video was from a different time ago. And when I look at the retention, the videos people watched all the way through, my number one was called I Feel Like Crap, But I Ran Anyways. And that had a 50.9% average view percentage. So do you see the pattern? Adventure, vulnerability, community, real human stories. It wasn't a perfect production, and there was no studio lighting, not carefully scripted tutorials, right? Real life, real struggle, real person showing up in a real way. Now I want you to think about your own channel for a second. Which of your videos has the best retention that people have watched the longest, right? Which one do people actually watch all the way through? Because that video, whatever it is telling you something really important about what your audience actually wants from you. I didn't know this at the time, but the data is always talking. You just have to know how to listen to it. Here's the part of month one that I'm most embarrassed about, okay? My click-through rate was 2.38%. YouTube was showing my content to an average of 15,472 people, and for every 100 people who saw my thumbnail, only 2 of them clicked. Now, at the time, I didn't even fully understand what click-through rate meant. I knew something wasn't working. I could see the impressions going up and the views not matching, but I hadn't connected the dots yet, and it would be months, if not years, before I did. The problem was my packaging. My thumbnails were rough. My titles weren't stopping anybody from scrolling. I had real stories to tell, falling in rivers, getting lost in the woods, running through January ice, and almost nobody was clicking to hear them. And this is the single most important lesson from month one, year one, that I want you to take away right now. It doesn't matter how good your video is if nobody clicks on it. Now read that again. It doesn't matter how good your video is if nobody clicks on it. So where should you spend your time? You can pour your heart and your soul into your content. You can have all of the genuine, helpful, compelling storylines and everything else in your entire niche. But if your thumbnail doesn't make someone stop scrolling and your title doesn't make them curious enough to click, they will never know that video exists. They'll never know what's behind it. The packaging is literally everything. And I've learned that lesson the hard way. And I'm trying to get better. But during that first month of year one, it was painfully over the next several months that I started to understand. Now I'm telling you now so you don't have to wait as long as I did. Look at your thumbnails right now. Look at your titles. Are they stopping the scroll? Are they making someone curious enough? If not, that's probably your biggest opportunity. Not a better camera, not better editing, not better better packaging. That is the number one thing right there. You should always strive to make your video after the title and the thumbnail have been worked on. Here's what I got right in January of 2020 that I didn't even realize I was getting right at the time. I started the month with a video called What's in Store for 2020? My running goals for that year. Completely honest, completely open, Here's what I'm trying to do. Here's where I am right now. Come along with me and join me. That transparency brought in my first real subscribers, people who wanted to see if I'd actually hit any of my goals, people who were on their own journeys and wanted a companion along the way. And my top subscribed driving video that month, the group trail run, because community is magnetic, even for a channel with 53 subscribers. People don't just want information, they want to belong to something. Think about what community you're building on your channel, not just what information that you're sharing or something that you've learned, but what kind of people you're inviting in. Because the viewers who aren't subscribed aren't just looking for answers. They're looking for a place to belong. By the end of January 2020, I had 53 subscribers, 26 new people after 25 videos. After 7 hours of editing my first video on a cracked, broken iPhone, after an hour of staring at the screen, waiting for views that didn't come. After running through January ice with a selfie stick, trying to figure out what I was doing, running in a river, freezing. At the time, it felt like nothing. But here's what I want you to know that I didn't know then. Those 26 people chose to come back. They wanted to see what happened next. They were the beginning of everything that you're watching right now on this brand new channel. And if you have 26 subscribers right now, or 12 or 5, I want you to hear this. Every single one of those people made a choice. They saw your content. Hey, this person has something worth following. And they clicked, they subscribed. I mean, that's not nothing. That's everything. Don't measure yourself against channels with 100,000 subscribers or even 10,000 subscribers. Measure yourself against where you are last month or even the previous day. Are you learning? Are you improving? Are you showing up? Those are very important questions to ask. That's what matters in month 1. That's what matters in month 100. In month 2, I made a decision that I felt like giving up, but it turned out to be the smartest thing I did all year. I'm going to see you in month 2. Let's keep growing together. And like I always say, get out there and make a video.